Sublimity of thoughts cannot originate amid lowness of life. Chastity of character is mandatory for the purity of thoughts. The elegance of thought is neither an endeavor nor a state of inquisition. It is not merely a wish of imagination, nor a source for the acquisition of imagination. Sublime thought is an endowment, a bestowal, and a reward. And this reward is not meant for a sinner and a guilty at all. If subtlety of thought is taken as Gabriel, then the revelation of exalted thoughts are not meant for an infidel or an astray. The Gabriel provides the treasure of thoughts to the pious ones, and the believer's untidy one remains deprived of sublime thought. To assess the sublimity of thoughts, it is better to know the lowness of life and the type of living, which is destined not to have an elevation of imagination or the sublimity of thought. Gluttony or greed lowers the life of a man. Acquisition of things, desire for wealth and longing for portfolios converts a man and his inner into wilderness of a desert. A greedy heart will always remain scared. Fear can never be high flown. Greed creates vanity, but sublime thought is an epic of inner state. The gnosis of the inner is not meant for a greedy one. Attainment of objects, lust of things, assertion of belongings, and pride of them all leads to a mortal state, while the sublimity of thought or the magnanimity of vision are signs of an immortal state. Mortality is but mortality, and immortality is yet an immortality. That is to say, the sublimity of thought is a state of immortality, and a journey to immortality is impossible unless delivered from immortality and the love for immortality. When houses of people are full of households, hearts full of desires, and bellies full of edibles, empty-headedness then is ordained. A money-mongerer knows nothing about the sublimity of thought. A man of exalted thoughts is free from attainment, buy of things, and the pride of that attainment. He knows that if residence is recognized by its residents, then the residents will no more reside there. The existence is virtually non-existent. Their residence becomes more important than themselves. Their achievement is more virtuous than their lives. Just this is the main obstacle in the sublimity of thoughts. A man of lofty ideas himself is the recognition of his home. Wherever he lives, the place will be denoted by him, a man himself. Piss the ornament of his home. He needs nothing else to decorate his house. He himself has honored his own home, and became honorable due to sublime thoughts. While being in this world, he lives in another world. A man of low thoughts fosters his existence, whereas a man of sublime thoughts brightens his existence. He himself keeps on the journey of perpetual insight. A man of low thinking spreads like a dodder plant and prevents others to spread. He is gratified by depriving others of their rights. A man of sublime thoughts burns like a candle and enlightens others. He keeps burning and lightened. Sublimity of thoughts is an illumination. He remains enlightened and sticks back to his origin, the real light. His life is for others, and others' afflictions are for him. That's why he is a man of sublime thoughts. It is his faith, religion, and assignment to tame a man of low thoughts. Every person of low thought is self-centered, and every person of sublime thought is an elevated one. The desire of acquisition and collection entraps a man in life. If such a man is asked by Allah whether he should be sent to heaven or hell, he will utter at once, "To that place where I may have a monetary gain." Worldly gain is the favorite aim of a man of low thoughts. He seeks gain in every matter, in every affair. He keeps gathering worldly gains, but also is losing life. Temporary gains refrain him from the real gains. The real gains are: life can be comfortable, simple, peaceful, free of intimidations, safe from enemies, so that life becomes easy, and so is the death. This life must be cozy, and hereafter also. Lowness of thoughts negates the hereafter. One tends to secure his future, but only his near future. That is up to this life of his, but in fact his future, his near future. His hereafter and remote of his near future also are his offspring. So progeny is the hereafter of a man's near future, the remote of his near. The people of sublime thoughts also keep in mind their hereafter. It is a ground reality that a man of sublime thoughts, lofty ideas, and sublimity of thoughts leaves behind no material legacy. Ultimate goal of sublimity of thoughts is rectification of thoughts. A man of thoughts does not compel his children, a compulsion to acquire material objects. He fetches his children with a feast for eyes, a point to ponder. If the son depicts, not to be a witness of his father's thoughts, imagination, and refined ideas. The hereafter of both the father and son is in jeopardy, but with one exception. If father is Noah, then the son, deprived of righteous thoughts, will be the victim of hurricane. Father's desire cannot save him. If the son is Abraham and invites with the certitude of refined thoughts, then in the wake of denial, the temple of idols of the idolater would collapse. Anyhow, a refined thought invokes new thoughts, and this invitation is wrapped in love and compassion. Times to come are prophesied. The days gone by are narrated to the listeners. Objective of a sublime thought is to alarm the people about grave consequences of their voluptuousness and self-centeredness. Aliens are persuaded compassionately. Only an indication suffices for the Nerones, and if they do not accept the invitation, how come they be Nerones? They are Akans. So sublimity of thoughts is being discussed. Sublimity of thoughts is being defined. And what is that thing which can be termed as sublimity of thoughts? Is it sublimity of thoughts to ponder over heaves while being on earth? Not at all. Rather, it is inverse. It is sublimity of thoughts that being on earth, we should not forget that we are on earth, and the people who are on earth, whether they walk with haughty gaits, eventually will amalgamate in this earth. It does not mean that we stop walking on earth because one day we will be part of it. No, not at all. The people with thoughts guard their actions. They accompany only that luggage which facilitates the journey. Desiring all the things round the clock is futile. Sublimity of thoughts thrives in sacrifice. Sacrifice, in fact, is the only source of accomplishment of ideas. Rather, it's a compulsion. It is imperative that sublimity of thought is not a vain thought or imagination. It is imperative that sublimity of thoughts does come into expression, and this expression has a benefit for the people. A thought is an ardor for a thoughtful person, an intuition for him. A thought is not merely a thought, but a sentiment also. The sun has light for the world, but for itself it has fire, bonfire, heat, burning and constant burning. So it is the compulsion. How can a miser have sublimity of thoughts? How can it be a sun which refrains to impart light, if there is not sacrifice and generosity in temperament? Sublimity of thoughts can't be achieved if someone confines sublimity of thoughts to himself. Thoughts become stale. When someone shares his thought, then that thought becomes his own. It is compulsive that most precious among all things, all assets, all virtues, and all acquisitions is a refined thought. A person who shares not his wealth, a lesser precious asset than the thought, how he can impart sublimity of thoughts to others. So a person who shares not sublimity of thoughts cannot retain it. He who intends not to share his thoughts cannot be an aspirant for sublimity of thoughts. So he who shares not his wealth, how can he share his ideas? This is the obligation, and remedy to it is distribution of your acquisition. Peer yourself and devote yourself to others. Doing so will be your greatness. Whatever you take, collect or use for your own self, for that you are proud of, for which you hurt people, the portfolio by which you intimidate people, the knowledge by which you perplex people, is all selfishness, is all lowness of thought, because loftiness of thought and sublimity of thought is to sacrifice. It is to illuminate others while burning is fire yourself. The people of sublime thoughts are extraordinary marvels of nature. They are fetched with a distinct secret of life and a new meaning of life. They got awareness of a new angle of deprivation and acquisition. The people of sublime thoughts are aware of the factual meanings of success and failure. It is noticed that to succeed in a particular objective is not a success for whole life. Success in sin, in fact, is a failure in life. A generous poor can be a man of sublime thoughts, while a miser rich remains deprived of such thoughts for all the times to come. However, if one aspires for sublimity of thoughts, then deliverance from love of wealth and ranks is must. The people who refrain from voluptuous acts are made aware of the sublimity of thoughts. The people who take others' pains as their own are endowed with the sublimity of thoughts. The nature itself adorns the sincere passion of service to humanity with the jewel of refined thoughts. Sublimity of thoughts is that asset which is acquired not with endeavor, but is predestined. A man of sublime thoughts, though being mundane, dwells in highest place in heaven, as the sublimity of thoughts is an endowment. That's why a man of sublime thoughts always distributes it. Were it be an earning, then it would be protected. If it be articles, then it would be decorated, and if it be a rank, then the people would be intimated with it. But this is a bestowal, the act of the donor. He who bestows it wanted it to be distributed. Elevated thoughts are given to the people who distribute it and make sacrifices. They got it to burn like lamps themselves and spread light. Misers, opportunists, and money mongers are entrapped in thinking that what is this all about? When that is all about just a thought, why should it not be the sublimity of thought? Sublimity of thoughts is a blessing of great Lord God, a persit attained in life, and the asset which persists after this life is just this sublimity of thoughts.